Hello Gray family, welcome to part 2 of Fenwick's training demonstration. Part 1 was the information and the foundational concepts of our Puppy Steps training program. So in this video we are going to be going through the manners, the obedience commands, and the leash work. So we got the information out of the way, now you get to see Fenwick showing off all of her skills. So Fenwick is behind me in the crate. Very excited to send her to you. She's a super sweet dog and very fun to work with. She's very driven, she loves to train, and overall just has a really sweet personality. I think you guys are going to really enjoy her. So we are going to dive right in with our manners. So the first manner we're going to demonstrate and talk about is her doorways. So anytime we go through the crate, we go through a closed house door, a gate outside, I expect Fenwick to hold a stay, or she's going to wait at that threshold. So a lot of this is impulse control. It's just teaching her that she can't just break through a door. We do expect this with any closed door that we are going through together. As she gets older and as you are consistent with this, you can teach this with any threshold in your home. At her age and for what we've done, it's any closed door. Bare minimum, I would make sure that you expect this behavior at every exterior door and anytime she comes out of a crate or goes through a gate. Anywhere that she might be able to run through and then could get into some trouble, I want to make sure that those thresholds she is waiting at. So let's go ahead and get her out. Now, if I'm pulling her out of the crate and maybe there's something new going on, a different distraction, or maybe she's just really excited, and in the back of my mind I think, she's kind of seeming like she may break. If I have that thought, I'm not just going to fling that door open and run away, but instead I might open it gradually, especially maybe the first time that you let her out of the crate at your home. I'm going to make sure that she is steady and waiting at that threshold. I don't need to tell her wait or stay. This is an implied or an expected behavior. So when I open that, I just expect her to wait. If she did try and even stick one paw out, I might close that door and tell her no. But I'm not going to tell her stay or wait. Same thing with going through like a house door. When I open this, I want to have a leash attached so that way I can correct her, or I can open this door with my back to it so that I can use my legs to block her if she tried to run through. If she does run through, I'm going to tell her no, go and get her and do it again. I don't want her thinking that if she's fast enough or if she's sneaky enough that she doesn't have to wait at those thresholds. So I want to make sure that we're very consistent and I have this expectation with each and every threshold that I am expecting her to wait out. So let's go ahead and get her out. Okay, good girl. So you notice she just waited for me to release her. Now I am going to put this leash on so that I can somewhat keep her in this video frame. And now we're going to go through this exterior door. So I'm going to open that. Notice I don't care whether she's sitting, laying down, standing. She just needs to show that she is in control. Okay, then okay releases her through. Coming inside is the same expectation. She doesn't just get to bolt through. Okay, good girl, good girl. So once again, when you get her home, your house, your rules. I don't care which thresholds you expect this for, other than, like I said, I would make sure that any exterior door, no, and the crate door. So we want to make sure that she is going to wait at those doorways. That way she doesn't take out your legs or we don't cause a charge coming out of the crate. So working on that impulse control, helping her be calm and in control. No. Notice she keeps kind of wanting to put her teeth on this leash. So she is teething right now. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a second. So she's wanting to mouth a little bit more than usual today. So if she continues this, I might actually remove this leash. I'm hoping to use it so that I can keep her right here so that she doesn't explore too much and get out of frame. But if she continues to want to chew on this, I will take it off and I'll give her something to chew on for just a few minutes. But before we get into that, I want to talk about our greeting. So this is This is going to be the first thing that you actually work on when you get Fenwick home. So my expectations are that when Fenwick approaches, she sits to greet me. So that's why we call it either our sit to greet or our greeting. But if she wants my attention, she's got to sit to do it, or to get it. Sometimes she will offer this down, which is great. I love that behavior too. She's settled and she's being in control. So if I call Fenwick over, so if I say, Fenwick, come here. Once she sits, good girl, then I can give her that attention. Now I'm going to have you guys do an exercise a few times over the next few days to really drive this point home, to make sure that this transition's over. It'll help you start to engage with Fenwick and help her understand that you have the same expectations I do, and we transfer over this relationship based on you being the leader of the family. So what you're going to do, you're going to take a leash, you're going to take some treats, and we are just going to say her name, take a few steps back, wait for her to sit, reward that, and repeat. So this is what it looks like. And you're going to do this 3 times. So it's Fenwick, I'm going to step backwards. Once she sits, okay, good girl. Fenwick, okay, good girl. Fenwick. So it's getting her to recognize your voice. Okay, good girl. Recognize your body language and start to offer this greeting, which also shows some respect. And now if she hesitates, good girl, okay. I can just step into her, adjust my body language to help her understand that I am talking to her. Now, like I said, you're going to do that 3 times. I just did it more like 5 or 6, but especially the first time that you work on this, do it 2 or 3 times, and then on the 3rd time you can go ahead, pet on her, love her. Because after about a week, you're going to start weaning off the treats on this behavior. So we've already done that. Once again, when she approaches me and sits, she gets my attention. I'm not rewarding this greeting anymore with food. 1, it's my expectation that she's in control and she's polite, and 2, it's just to get my attention. But over the next week, you're going to reward and reinforce this behavior very heavily. Over the next 3 days, I want you to practice that little exercise, 2 or 3 times a day, just to really help her understand that this is the expectation. So if she jumps up at all, but especially while we're doing this, if I called her over and she leaped into the air, I would step into her and tell her off. So she's not allowed to jump up on me. So off is our command for getting down, whether she's jumping on a person or she's jumping up on the couch, any of it. She is kind of like a little bunny and she likes to hop to the side a little bit. I'm okay with that as long as paws don't ever come up on me. As soon as paws come up, I'm going to step into her, bring my knee up, tell her off. And then I will wait for her to sit. Once she sits, then I will reward that behavior. So that way I'm marking the incorrect behavior and redirecting her into an appropriate one, rewarding that so that we can reinforce it. Now, if she jumped while I was offering her a treat, so if I was bringing this down and she even reared up, if those 2 front paws come up at all, I'm going to tell her no, gently, and I expect all 4 paws on the ground. So gently has 2 parts to it. 1, not rearing up, so keeping all 4 paws on the ground when we take a treat, and 2, being very soft when we take the treat, which Fenwick has always had a pretty soft mouth, but I just want to make sure that she's not going to catch my fingers or be a little too harsh when taking a treat. So we've been practicing, tell her gently, and I expect her to be very, very nice taking it from my fingers. In general, I always give her a treat in the palm of my hand. I stick it right next to my thumb, and that way I can block her from getting it with my thumb if she's a little too harsh. And then when I'm ready, I can say okay and open that up. So by putting it in the palm of my hand, there's less skin to grab. She's less likely to nip me. So that's the best way to give her a treat. However, like I said, we've been practicing between the thumb and forefinger just to make sure that she's soft. Because for some reason, kids always want to give dogs a treat between the thumb and forefinger, and then they're sad if their fingers get nipped. So she's done great with that. She's done great with gently. Jumping was definitely one of the bigger behaviors that we had to work on. So especially with this greeting, we want to make sure that she's not jumping up. These first few days of interactions, like the first 3 days, are the hardest because she's trying to see if you're going to have the same expectations that we do, and you need to make sure that you're following through with it. So if she jumps up on you, step into her, bring up that knee. If she's jumping up on furniture, I'll tell her no, off, and a lot of times I clap just to drive that point home. With strangers, now this is a whole different matter. So one, I don't care that well, that's probably not the best way to put it. No, I don't expect my dog to respect strangers like she does me. For me, I don't want any jumping. I want her to sit when she greets me. I want her to be very, very polite. With strangers, I don't expect that she's going to offer this greeting. So if someone's coming over to your house to see her, especially in these first few days, or maybe you just have neighbors or friends that are coming over, family members, I will ask Fenwick for this greeting for me and then invite those people up. If she gets out of control, if she starts pulling or jumping, I'm going to get some distance again, so I'll tell her no. I'll walk away, have her sit again. Then, after she shows she's in control, then we can walk up to those people again, stop maybe 5 or 6 feet short, ask for that greeting, good girl, I'll reward her, and then invite them up. So that's kind of the easiest way to let people meet Fenwick. Everyone in your immediate family that's going to have regular interactions with Fenwick, I want her to do the greeting for, and I want to work on that greeting. However, everybody else that's more irregular, I am just going to have Fenwick do the greeting for me and then invite them over. However, when it comes to on a leash, like maybe we're on a walk and someone goes, oh my gosh, your dog's so cute, can I meet her or can I pet her? I tell people no. The politest way, or the most polite way to do this is just to say, no, she's in training, and then we'll walk to the edge of the sidewalk. I'll put her in a sit. I'll reward her as those people walk past. So 95% of the time, I am not letting Fenwick meet other people or other dogs on leash. Okay? There are going to be situations where you know the person, maybe you need to talk to them, and that's a different story, and I'm going to do the same thing that I did with people in my house. I'll approach, stop 5 feet short, have Fenwick sit with me, and then invite them over. If she gets out of control, if she starts jumping, I'll tell her no, and I'll walk away. Even if that's just getting 10 feet of distance, 10 feet of space, asking her to check in, oh, good girl, and then we can approach again, try it again. But it's really uncomfortable and hard for people to correct their dog in front of strangers or even people they know. But just when we're out in public, a lot of times we're talking, our dog gets to jump and we're terrible at correcting them. Or you get the person that says, no, it's okay, I love dogs, and they're rewarding her for jumping up. So we don't want that. We don't want to reinforce this behavior of jumping up on strangers. We also don't want Fenwick to think that every new person on the street she needs to meet. So instead, I make a habit of the majority of the time we're not greeting anybody, we're not meeting anybody. Our relationship matters the most. Our walk is between me and her. It's not about meeting new people. Dogs especially, I never want to do like face-to-face greetings on leash. Instead, if you have a friend that maybe you're going to walk with, then you can go on a walk with each dog on a leash and they can walk next to each other for a little bit, and then that's going to help them get comfortable around each other, then they can meet each other. But I don't want them going face to face just because we don't know how that interaction is going to be. Fenwick is very, very sweet. However, you just don't know what could happen. So no on-leash greetings. Oh, good girl. Okay, so next manner we're going to talk about is our mealtime manner. So anytime I feed her, I expect her to hold an automatic sit-stay. Notice I shook that bowl and she sat down. So I should be able to lower this bowl down and stand back up. If at any time, if I'm lowering this and she breaks, I'm going to tell her no, bring that food bowl back up. So I will do this as many times as it takes. She never gets to eat if she breaks. So instead, I expect her to sit and wait for me to release her and to give her permission. Okay, good girl. Good girl. Oh. Now, Fenwick hasn't shown any type of resource guarding. We have spent time handling her, petting her while she eats. I like to throw little treats in there when she eats just to make it a very rewarding experience having me next to her. I don't make a habit of taking her food away while she's eating because I wouldn't appreciate it if somebody did that to me. However, she will let me. And then we can even do that again. No. So there, she broke. I take the food bowl away. Okay, good girl. See, now she's like, are you sure? Good girl. Which that's okay. You don't need to finish because we got lots of treats. Going along with that, we spent a lot of time handling her in different ways, just making sure that she's going to be comfortable and she's not going to get reactive at all. So we've handled her ears, cleaned them out regularly. We've trimmed around her eyes. We mess with her teeth. Like I said, she's getting ready to lose some teeth, so she's been extra mouthy. However, she's never allowed to put her mouth on me. We also have clipped her nails multiple times. Good girl. And I just want to make sure that she's comfortable with me handling her in different ways. Yeah, good dog. If she started throwing a temper tantrum, I will just stop what I'm doing. I'll hold her, wait for her to calm down. Once she's calm, then I can go about, whether I was clipping her nails or brushing her, or even if I was just holding her and she started squirming, I would just wait for her to be calm, and then I can release her. But I don't want her thinking that she can throw a temper tantrum to get away. So instead, I'll stop what I'm doing, maybe readjust her, because I do want her to be comfortable, but I'm not just going to let her down anytime that she throws a little fit. Because she, is going to need to be groomed and need to be handled a lot. So we want to make sure that she's very comfortable with that. Which she is a very sweet puppy, Good girl. With mouthing, like I said, that she is teething right now. So if she ever put her mouth on me, I would tell her no, and I'm just going to grab her muzzle. So I'm not clamping down, I'm not going to grab it and yank it. Like there is no, I'm not trying to inflict any harm. It's just very quick of no, and then I remove my hands. So I want to make sure that I am no longer touching her. It's kind of a little check-in. Then I can go back to petting her once she's in control. But if she tried to mouth me again, like if she tried to grab my watch band, any of that, then I would tell her no again, grab that muzzle, remove my hands, maybe even stand up and remove myself from her. I would do the same thing if I was down here petting her and she tried to jump up. I would tell her no, off, and I'd kind of slide her back, remove my hands, wait for her to show that she's in control. Good girl. Good girl. Along with this, if she's chewing on something that she's not supposed to, so maybe she finds a sock or a slipper or a shoe, I'm going to tell her, one, I can tell her drop it, or I can just tell her no, and then I will always give her something to chew on. While she's teething, it's important to give her adequate things to chew on. Okay. So that we can meet the needs of her mouth. And I'll give her options a lot of times. If she's chewing on something hard, I'm going to give her something hard. So I'll try and match texture. Sometimes I might pull out a bully stick and a toy, put them both down, let her choose, and then I'll take the other one away. With that drop it command, Fenwick, drop it. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. I expect her to completely release it. I don't want her to fight me at all. And that command, I'll say her name, there's a brief pause, then the drop it, and wait for her to comply. I will always give her a second or two to comply, sometimes she's got to work it out of her mouth. Sometimes she's going to process that command and think whether she wants to or not, but I always expect her to, but I just want to give her a second. Fenwick, drop it. Good girl. I'll tell her good when she lets go, okay when I throw it. Good girl. Fenwick, drop it. Good dog. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. A lot of times when I'm working on this command, though, I just want to incorporate myself into her play. So just get a toy out. When I do this, the food goes away, so I'm never going to give her a treat for dropping a toy. Instead, that toy is the reward. Fenwick, drop it. Good girl, good girl. Okay, if she ignored me, there's a couple different ways that I can remove the toy. One, if I want to be really soft, I'll just take it on both sides and turn my knuckles in. And so it's just going to kind of pop out that way. That's not my preferred method, but that is a really nice method of taking it away. For me, I go right over the top of the muzzle and I wrap those teeth, I wrap those cheeks inward around the teeth so that she can't bite down, and it's like a little eject button. Boop. It's not mean, it's not hurting her, but she's just going to open her mouth. Okay, good girl. But Fenwick has a great drop it. She loves to play and loves to interact with us, so she's doing great. If it's something of high value though, maybe she had a bully stick or she picked up something gross outside, if I ask for that drop it and she drops it, I'm immediately going to give her something good in return. So that way she knows that I'm not just going to take the stuff that she finds of high value and not pay her. So instead I want her to think something better is coming. Fenwick, drop it. Good girl, good girl. Okay. So same thing, we'll pull out a bully stick here and show you. Bully sticks are a little bit more high value, edible. So a little higher level distraction. I'm gonna wait for her to chew on it a little bit. Fenwick, drop it. So here, I'm gonna give her a second. No. And now I'll take it. Now she's gonna have to kind of earn it back. So here's a sit. I'm gonna tell her gently, and then we'll try again. Fenwick, drop it. No. So there she dropped it, but then she went back for it. So I told her no, no. Now this time, I'm gonna hand it to her, but I'm gonna hold on to it for a second. Fenwick, drop it. No, and then I can take it. So we're gonna work on this for a second, where she's, wanting to test some boundaries here. Fenwick, drop it. No. Okay. It's a perfect example of what to do if she is ignoring you. Like I said, toys she's really, really good about. This bully stick now, she's it's higher value, so she's struggling a little bit. Fenwick, drop it. No. Fenwick, drop it. No. Fenwick, drop it. Good girl, okay, good girl. Good girl. Fenwick, drop it. Good dog, good girl. So you can see we spent a little bit of time working on that. Now she's giving it up a little bit more willingly. Now let's try it without me holding on to it. Fenwick, drop it. No. Good. Good. There, she let it go with a prompt. Fenwick, drop it. Good girl, good girl. Okay, good girl. And now, spent just a second there working on it. Now she's doing great. Fenwick, drop it. Good girl, good girl. Okay. We're just asking for a little check in there, but much better. So this is how a lot of your training sessions at home are going to go. So it's not like you need to spend 30 minutes every day doing every single command. It's more like, oh, you know what? You kind of hesitated or you struggled there for a second. Let's spend the next, 3 to 5 minutes working on it. And then you get some positive reps. She's going back to doing it, to the standard or what our expectation is. And then that's great. We'll end there. We don't need to push it any further. Fenwick, drop it. Good girl, good girl. Now where we're going to move on, I am going to replace this with a treat. Tell her she's a good girl. And now we're good to go. So, and with that I believe concludes our manners. So we are going to move into our obedience commands. And we are going to start with my favorite command, which is the place command. So I'm going to pull this bed out a little further. She's going to guess what we're doing because I moved the bed. Come here, Fenwick. So when I ask for the place command, I'm going to step near, place. I'll point. As soon as all 4 paws are on, I will give her a treat and tell her, good girl. And now she's expected to stay. So I don't have to tell her stay. It's an automatic behavior. Notice how she just laid down. So we've been really working on settling into this command. This one, there for a minute, Fenwick was wanting to break because she just wants to be right there with you to get the treats. Like, she's very, very motivated and loves to train. So that's why I say we've been working on this a lot, working on her settling in. So now, where she was a little antsy, good girl, and was standing up, I marked the good, gave her a reward. Notice when I said good that time, it was a little bit more of a calm tone. I would have loved it if she would have just stayed laying down and I could have rewarded her. But notice how quickly she settled back in. So she's doing a few minutes on place right now. Thought about it. Okay, good girl, good girl. So I'm going to release her, place, send her back. Practice this a couple times. So 2 minutes doesn't seem like a long time to us, but in puppy terms, that is an eternity. So this is my favorite command. I think it's super useful. You can use this if you're bringing in groceries and you just need her out of the way. Or for my dogs, I've taught them when the doorbell rings, we go to our place. And that way, they're not charging the door and barking, but instead we give them a job. Most of our work here is just helping her settle and calm down. However, we do add a lot of our 3Ds, so distance, duration, distraction. Good girl. So we can add some chaos. She's a little on edge right here, on the edge of the bed, so close to breaking. So I'm going to wait. Now she's settled. Let's add a little bit more distraction. So I'm going to leave the room, leave the building. Just adding some different distractions. Depending on how hard the distraction is, will determine how often I reinforce her. If it's just me and her in here, and I'm like doing the dishes or it's pretty calm, I'm not going to reinforce it near as often as if like my 4 kids are here and it's chaos, we're running around. Then I'm going to stay close and I'll continue to reinforce her. Okay, good girl, huh? When she comes off, there's no treat. I will pet her and tell her she's a good girl, but I want her to think she's going to get far more rewards by being on her place than she'll get if she breaks. Fenwick, come here. We've also been working on this command to be place universal. So we've been practicing with sending her onto rugs or blankets, towels, boxes. We've used the ball pit. So anything that has a defined boundary can be used as place. Good dog. But that's also why I have to be near it and my body language. I'm going to point and allow her to read my body language so she can understand what I am expecting her to stay on. Okay, good girl. I don't think I actually sent you there. So the crate command is very similar. Fenwick, come here. Crate. I just point. She goes in. She gets a treat when she goes in, not when she comes out. Okay, good girl. Crate. If she hesitated, I might just tap on top. Okay, good girl. Fenwick. Crate. Good girl. Now if she put, no. Crate. So there she broke. I told her no. And you notice I didn't immediately say crate again. Instead, I just adjusted my body language, helped her fix it. Okay, good girl. Crate, and we're good. No, I didn't notice your paw was out. Okay. Yeah, even if a single paw's out, I'm going to correct that. I don't care if her head's sticking out, but a paw's not allowed. Now notice the stay here is a lot shorter. Fenwick. Crate. Good. Because if I'm going to have her stay long term, we're closing the door. Okay, good girl. Good dog. With a brand new crate, so something that she might not be familiar with, I'll offer this, tell her crate, stand and point, but if she hesitates at all because it's unfamiliar, I might stick my hand inside the door and help guide her in. Okay. I don't want to throw treats in there if I don't have to, so instead I can put the treat in this hand, but I'll just stick this hand inside the crate. Good girl. Okay, and then give it to her when she steps in. Good girl. Okay. The next 3 commands have actual hand signals. It's not just me pointing and her reading my body language, but we have distinct hand signals. Fenwick. So we have a sit, which is a scoop over the nose. That motion comes from luring the food bowl up or even the treat. So her nose comes up, hind end goes down, and then we would mark it. So that's where that motion comes from. Now I'm a little bit more lazy and I just stick it out. Come here. Fenwick. So sit. Down is off to the side, and I'll tell her down. And then stay is a stop sign. She has both a sit and a down stay. She absolutely prefers to lay down in almost every situation. So I'm good with that. If I put her in a sit stay and she lays down, that's great. She's getting more comfortable. She's going to be more stable. However, she's never allowed to come up out of a down stay into a sit. Even if she was in a sit stay and she laid down, she's still not allowed to come back up into a sit. Okay, good girl. Now these stays are going to be shorter than like the place because she is in a position specific stay, so she's not allowed to stand up and readjust, where the place she can be standing, sitting, laying down, turn a circle. She just has to stay within that boundary, whereas if I put her in a down stay, she's got to stay right there. Come here, Fenwick. I didn't put you there. Sit. Stay. So notice I said she'll lay down. That's her preference. And once again, I'm good with that. So let's add some distraction here. No. So there she broke. So I might have to pick those up. Down. So here, this is a big distraction. Notice I've already told her down, so I'm not going to repeat it, but she's also not looking at me. So now, good. I'll give her a second to process, but I'm not going to repeat the down. So instead, if she continued just to stare down here at the treats, I might like snap right in front of her and like try and get her eye contact and then give her an exaggerated hand signal. Okay, good girl. Now we'll let her eat them. So if I ask for that down and she's not paying attention or she hesitates, I'm not going to immediately just go straight down to the floor. Fenwick, come here. Sit. Down. So instead, I'll just gradually get lower. But I don't want to go right down here in front of her, because then she's going to get preoccupied with my fingers, with is there a treat in his hand. So instead, I want her to rely here, and then I'll gradually get lower. Okay, good girl. Fenwick, sit. Stay. Okay, good girl. Good girl. Okay, now the last command we're going to talk about here is going to be leave it, and I'm going to make things a little bit harder. So I'm going to pull out some ham as my high value. So I've thrown some treats on the ground. I've let her eat them off the ground. Now I'm going to toss some treats on the ground and ask her to leave it. So anytime I'm practicing with treats or with food, something in the house, I'm going to use something of higher value as a reward so that I teach her, hey, if you leave that, you're going to get something better in return. And especially because treats are something she's used to being able to eat, and we use them as a distraction on the floor. But now if I ask her to leave it, she's not allowed to eat that treat. So leave it means you cannot touch it, you cannot eat it. So it's forever forbidden. We use this a lot on walks. So we've been getting a fair amount of rain today and yesterday, and so we've done leave it with frogs all over the road and things that we don't want her to eat. And so in that situation, I'll tell her leave it, and then the moment she looks up at me, the moment she no longer progresses towards trying to get it, I'm telling her, good girl, and I'm going to reward that. So I'm going to grab some ham. Get the good stuff, huh, there, Miss Fenwick. And I'm going to hold her leash now because this is a higher level distraction, so I am prepared to manage her if she tries to go for this treat. So I got a nice treat here. We're going to drop it on the ground. Leave it. No. So there, she ignored my leave it. No. And I'm going to correct her. Good girl. Notice she ignored my first correction. No. Good. So I got a little bit firmer. I'm still not, I'm not causing any harm to her. It's just a very quick, clear correction. Fenwick, good girl. Now this one's difficult for her today. So we're going to practice walking around it. Good girl. Notice she's giving it a wide berth. No. Good, leave it. Good girl. Huh. So I don't want her thinking that if she's sneaky, she can get the treat. Come here. Fenwick. Good. Because clearly she notices it's there. Good. And then I will clean it up. So you can use this command, if you're in the kitchen cooking, you drop something, you don't want her to get it, ask for her to leave it. Be prepared to reward her or have somebody else reward her while you clean it up. But if you say leave it, she's never allowed to get it. So it doesn't matter what it is. I'm not going to put treats on the ground, tell her leave it, and then after a few minutes tell her okay, and then she can eat it, because that will destroy that command. So instead, leave it means leave it forever. So with that, now we are going to switch the camera angle and go into her leash work. We're going to start with talking about her heel, what to do if she pulls, engagement, then we'll do the long lead walk and the recall. So, all right. So we're going to start with her heel, which is what we're doing right now. So when I tell her heel, I expect her to be on my left side, right next to my knee. I don't care if she's half a step in front of me or half a step behind, but she can't get in front of me to where I can't turn into her if I need to. So with heel, good girl. My expectation is that she continues to put focus on me. I don't care if she looks forward a little bit because she does need to know where she's walking. Good girl. But I want her to continually check in and focus on me, and I'm going to give her a lot of feedback. Good girl. Good dog. And I'm rewarding her as we go. So the heel, good. Notice I stop, she stops. I also expect her to match my pace, which when we slow down, she'll walk almost sideways. Good. Heel. And then we'll speed up. Good dog. I will heel, tell her, excuse me, I will repeat the command anytime I change directions or I stop and start again. So heel just means focus on me, walk controlled, without paying attention to any of the distractions. So the heel is for you. It is not how we exercise our dog. The heel is how we get past distractions. It's how we get from point A to point B. I will also use the heel when we're walking in public or in stores. So it is not going to exercise your dog. It is a very mentally tasking job because she needs to focus on me. It's also the one aspect of training that will take This one, out of everything, will probably take the longest to transition over because she has to develop a relationship where she trusts you completely, because we are asking her to forget about all the distractions around and focus on you. And so she needs to trust that you are going to take care of her. So when you start the heel, start inside, just as we're doing here. We're going to walk circles, reward her for looking up at you and focusing on you. And then as she's doing well, she's walking nicely, then we'll go outside. Maybe we'll go to the backyard first. She's doing well there. Then we'll go to the front yard. We'll go down a house, back a house, and just gradually implement more and more distractions. I would not expect her to heel, or I would not ask her to heel for maybe the first week that you have her home. If after a few days you feel like she's doing really well, then you can once again start in the house with very limited distractions. But take it slow, allow her to build a relationship with you, and then just build this up, line upon line. She has a great heel. We've worked on this as we've went through, like I posted the county fair. She was able to walk past animals and different people, and she did very, very well. So she has a great heel, but we have a good relationship. She trusts me that I'm going to take care of her, and so you need to build this up gradually. So let's see. If she does get distracted, let's just say she notices a distraction. I'm going to do something to regain her attention. So I'll use her name. I'll say, "Hey, Fenwick," something like that. "Good girl." Once she focuses back on me, I'll mark it, tell her good, and then we can keep walking. But if she actually starts to pull, whether it's towards a distraction or away from a distraction, I'm going to correct her. So if we were walking, she started to pull, I tried to get her attention, she ignored me, then I'm going to correct her. I'll say, "No, pop, pop," and I'll pop that leash twice. So these pops are up, they're not back, because I do use leash pressure to give her information. So if I need to walk to the left and I need to walk through her, I'm going to give her some leash pressure back so that she knows. See, back. Or if I'm going to walk the opposite direction, leash pressure this way. So I need my correction to be clear so that she understands what I'm asking. So those pops are up, so it's pop, pop. If she regains her focus, I'll tell her, "Good girl." Maybe we'll take a step or two, then I will reward her. If it doesn't work, if she continues to pull or if she just blatantly ignores it, I will do it one more time. So I'll go, "No, pop, pop." She ignores me. "No, pop, pop." So I get a little louder, a little more firm. And if that works, if we're good, then it's, "Yeah, good girl," and we'll just keep walking. If it doesn't work, I'm going to come to a complete stop. We will never progress towards something if she is pulling. So I'll stop, expect her to sit, almost give her a little pep talk, like, "Hey, are you paying attention?" And then we'll start walking again. After a few steps, if she's focusing on me, I'm going to reward her. So I'm going to give her a lot of feedback, because whatever I want replicated or repeated, I need to reinforce. So I'm going to reward that as she's focusing on me, and we can keep walking. But if she goes back to pulling, now I'm going to correct her. I'm going to say, "No, pop, pop," and I'm going to turn and do a 180 and start walking in the complete opposite direction. And now I'm going to quicken my pace. As soon as she regains her focus, then we can turn around and walk back towards that distraction. But if she goes back to pulling, 180, we're going back again. So it's just this really quick back and forth. I am going to always try and step into her, so that way my body language kind of cuts her off. "No. Heel. Good. Good girl." Now, if she continued to struggle, was kind of continuing to charge forward anytime we turned around, then I'll get a little unpredictable. I'll stop, pop that leash. If she crosses in front of me, good. And then I'll turn around. Maybe now I'll turn this direction, go back and forth, just make it very unpredictable. So if she doesn't pay attention to me, she's going to get popped. So that's how I counteract pulling. And there is going to come a time, probably within the first few days, where Fenwick gets a little reactive. So we come across a distraction that's just too much. So Fenwick has gone into the red zone, we call it. So she's either barking and just wanting to pull towards something, or she's nervous and she's just trying to get away, and we're struggling to regain her attention. At this point, it's basically impossible to keep walking. So instead, I'm going to engage with her. So engagement follows kind of similar steps to the heel. So if she just gets reactive and we can just get her attention by saying, hey, Fenwick, oh, good girl, good girl. That's what I'm gonna do. However, most likely if she's getting reactive, that may not work, or you might get this flicker of attention and she's gonna go back to it. So in that case, I'm going to cut her off and get some distance. So if she's barking at something forward, I'm gonna give her attention back. I'm gonna step in front of her so that my body language interrupts this reactivity. I'm gonna get some distance. Come on. So whether that's 5 feet as we move off the trail, or whether that's 50 feet as we get down the block, there's always gonna be an amount of distance that we can get where she's gonna start to come out of this red zone. Now, I don't expect her to walk super great during that time because she's probably gonna be looking back reactive. So that's why I say it might only be 5 feet where I'm like, hey, come on, come on. Oh, good girl, good girl. Now the big thing here is we're gonna wanna try and remain calm. So instead I'm gonna be encouraging, I'm gonna be happy, we're gonna get some distance. Once she focuses on me, starts walking good, I'm, oh, good girl. And I'll stop there, back towards the distraction, reward simple victories. So she looks at me, good girl, and I might even throw in a watch me command, which is just to get eye contact. Watch me. Okay, good girl. So watch me, she makes eye contact, it'll just be a flicker, reward it. She sits down, reward it. She's being calm, reward it. Now, as she starts to come out of this red zone, now we're going to watch. We're gonna observe the distraction without interacting. So if I can open up and we can watch the world go by, I'm gonna reward her for being calm. Good girl, good girl. As she continues to calm down, now we might try and walk and get a little bit closer. We'll stop, observe, reward, and we're just gonna help her build confidence and understand that, hey, you don't need to worry about that distraction. I've got it. And then we can either watch that distraction go by or we can then walk past it. But we need to take time out. We need to step off to the side, engage with her, build some confidence, reward, and then move on. I like to kind of set her up for this by doing what we call the art of doing nothing, where I can just go somewhere where we can sit on a park bench and watch the world go by. And as any distraction passes where she notices something but remains calm, oh, good girl, good girl. And I'm heavily rewarding calm behavior. Okay. If she gets out of control, she starts barking, don't be afraid to correct your dog. We don't want to coddle her. So same thing if she's barking and we've got to get some distance, I will tell her no. There is great power in correcting your dog, but anytime I correct her, once she comes out of it or she shows a little bit of calm control or even focusing back on me, I will reward it. So you have to pair them together. Correct, reward. But don't be afraid to correct your dog. We do not want to coddle her and just pick her up and be, oh, it's okay. Now, if she's like really not wanting to listen, I might pick her up, move 10 feet, and then set her back down and engage with her. But I don't want her thinking that she can continue to bark and she's going to get picked up and snuggled because there might be a scary potted plant. Fenwick's not super reactive. Like, she's pretty good, especially, you know, we saw goats and pigs and tons of people, and she was pretty well in control. But once again, that came because we've developed a relationship where she understands that me and my trainers are in charge. We're the leader, and she can feel secure knowing that we're going to take care of her. So that's engagement. And the heel. And once again, the heel is for you. That's not how we exercise Fenwick. So when I want to exercise Fenwick, or we want to go on a walk to exercise her, I would much rather have her on a long lead. Now, there's a lot of different lengths that you can use. If there's room, there's not a bunch of stuff that she's going to get tangled in and not a busy street, I love using a 30 to 50 foot lead where she can run and explore and have all this space. This lead is 15 feet. This is the one that I like to use when we go to campus. You are just wanting to chew on everything today. Or we're going through neighborhoods where she can have some space, but I need a little bit more control. So 15 feet I think is a great space for that. When we go on this type of walk, she just gets to run around and sniff and check things out. So I go at her pace. This is her walk. And if she wants to stop and sniff a bush, we're going to stop and sniff a bush. She's still not allowed to pull. You'll get used to stepping over the lead, switching it behind your back, but just letting her see what's going on. But once again, she's not allowed to pull. So anytime she reaches the end of the leash, this is when I practice the recall. I will also put her on this type of lead and go in the backyard and practice recall. So her recall, I thought I had you distracted, is Fenwick, come. So I want it to be very clear. Hey, no. So notice how when she does pick up that lead, I just tell her no and pop it, and she'll usually spit it out. So here we go. Fenwick, come. Good girl. Okay. So that there wasn't a lot of distance there, but the moment that she starts coming to me, I am going to say good girl, and then when she gets to me, I will say okay. There we go. Fenwick, come. Good girl. Good girl. Okay. So I want to mark the act of actually coming to me. I want to encourage her, and then once she gets to me, I say okay, mark that we finished the behavior, and she's able to go about her business again. So I love practicing this on walks because it teaches a check-in, reinforces a recall, and it's fun for her. She gets a treat, and then she gets to go back to explore. She gets a little far, she gets a treat, she gets to go back and explore. Now, if she ever ignores me, I will tell her no, and I will put that pressure into the leash. So I have this leash to follow through and reel her in. Sister, no. So that would look like I would tell her, no, good girl, good girl. Okay. So in a failed recall, if I had asked her to come and she ignored that, if she failed, I'm going to use all three markers. So I'm going to say no, good, okay. You're getting tired too, but you're being kind of a pill with this leash, huh? Fenwick, come. Good girl. Okay. So Fenwick has a phenomenal recall. Like, she is super, super good. And the last few weeks, she's been off leash. She responds great. If we were off leash and she ever hesitated, she ever ignored me, I would tell her no. I would go and get her, and then she's going back on the long lead to practice. All right, we're done because you're just wanting to chew on it. Huh. But she has been doing really, really well off leash. Haven't had any issues. However, you need to build a relationship with her first before I would trust her off leash. If she was off leash and she did ignore me, so I'm going to tell her no, and I'm going to go and get her. If I got 90% of the way there, that last 10%, she notices me and she comes to me, I will stop walking and I'll say, good girl, and mark that, reward her for coming to me. Even though she only came the last 10%, I always want to reward her for coming to me when asked, even if it's just the last 3 feet. I will never reprimand a dog for coming to me. So if you called her to come and she was digging in the flower bed, you can't reprimand her. So instead, in that situation, I'm just going and getting her, and then I can tell her no when I get there and scoop her up. I will never mix that recall with, reprimanding my dog. So let's say, though, I got 100% of the way there. I told her no, I was walking towards her, she was ignoring me. I got to her, I would then say no, hook that leash on, or even grab under her collar, and then I would say, Fenwick, come, good girl, good girl, good girl. Okay, and I'd have her follow me for 15, 20 feet and tell her good girl, and then once we get kind of to the end, I'll say okay. So that way, I marked the incorrect behavior, redirected her into the appropriate behavior. Here's your off leash. Fenwick, come. Good girl. Okay. But practice, practice, practice. The recall is your most important command. It's one that can be easily burned out, especially if you mix in negativity with it. Who wants to come to somebody that's angry, right? I know that my kids don't. If I'm frustrated, they absolutely don't want to come running up to me. So instead, I want to be happy. If she seems on the fence, like you told her to come, and she was like, maybe, bend down. Say, good girl, huh? she's much more likely to come to that. But Fenwick is a great little dog. She's been doing so well. Today she showed us that she's a little tired and wanted to test some boundaries, which is going to happen. No dog is perfect. The good thing is you were able to see how we worked on that. Fenwick is a really good dog. I think you guys are going to enjoy her. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know when she gets to you, because we've loved Fenwick. So thanks for allowing us to train her, and hope you have a lot of success with her. Thanks.